I'm Andrew.
And I'm Steve.
And you're listening to Weekly Geek Speak. Welcome to the podcast. We are at the Film and Comicon Sheffield, run by Showmasters here today on a very warm day.
Yeah, incredibly warm day.
You may be thinking, where's the third member?
Yeah.
Scott will be joining us tomorrow due to schedules and commitments. It's a 2 and 2,
again.
so your consistent today is Steve.
Hey!
We'll be talking all about the goings on at the convention. We watched a talk by Freddy Krueger.
We did indeed.
Robert
Englund, yeah.
And we have, as always, brilliant cosplay, and it's such a great con to have in our own hometown. You can follow us on Twitter at Weekly Geek Speak. You can join us on Facebook /Weekly Geek Speak. We're also on Instagram.
We are indeed. Follow there for behind-the-scenes pictures. There'll probably be one of this.
Yeah.
And other things. And
also you can subscribe and listen to us on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher and Podcast Lounge. We're also on YouTube, where Dan and Scott play Bemusement Arcade. The Games galore. Retro mainly, but sometimes some new indie ones they play on there.
I've been slightly sidetracked, sorry, because there's Jason and... Michael Myers taking free hugs sign, stabbing children. Crazy, not literally, but yeah.
Well, that's a great point to move on from. The cosplay today, we always like to talk on it, but there's been a great amount, and actually I think what Showmasters have done really well today is actually space it out a bit more, because last year it was a brilliant con and there's great places to escape, but it was quite busy in the aisles.
Yeah,
they seem to have opened up, so these big cosplays, you can be browsing shops and all of a sudden a giant Big Daddy from BioShock, which was awesome.
Definitely, yeah, that man, and his little girl dressed up as the little sister as well was amazing.
And
really
it was weird because we were just saying, look at him, wouldn't it be great if he had his daughter dressed? Oh, he has, you know. And it looked really cool.
It was really good.
C-3PO was another favourite of mine.
Oh, he was brilliant. So it was just a guy in a yellow ski mask with a bit of cardboard that said C-3PO on it, carrying a bin.
It says R2-D2
on it. It was amazing.
He was one of my favourites.
Yeah, he wins the day for me as well.
But yeah, lots of cool costumes and things, as always.
Definitely.
We will be catching up with some people on the stalls and things soon. On a similar thing, on merch. If you do check out our Twitter, we will be shooting out Belts, Buckles and Tees competition.
Yes.
So a little later. We do apologise, we went to send it out last week, but we haven't had a chance. So do keep your eyes open, retweet and follow us for your chance to win a Geek Box. We'll be running it till the end of the month. Maybe we'll give them another week as well on that. And so keep your eyes open for that. Belts, Buckles, Tee on Twitter. You can use the code GeekSpeak on beltsbucklestees.com to get free shipping as well, so make sure you do that.
And there's some awesome stuff on there, games, films, comics and music, TV merch. Check it out, it's all good. Yeah. So
yeah, we will be talking to Reckless Hero later as well, talking about The Last Sheriff, which we have reviewed various times on the show. Have you been reading anything at Steve?
Yeah, I read Midnighter finally. I finally got around to reading it, and just thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect. I've said before, I've not read a lot of graphic novels, and through doing this and you guys and Osmosis and picking up titles, it's something that I figured I probably should have read, and just thoroughly enjoyed reading it. And obviously, being a gay superhero character, they don't put that out there a lot. It's only towards, it's not a spoiler, but it's only, they don't really play on it a lot. You don't know that until the end, so it's kind of but it's really, really well done. It's just a great, it's a great story as well. Great backstory.
Keeping in theme, I read Sunstone, which is the story of two women who fall in love via bondage. Now you might think me picking up a graphic novel about two lesbians who indulge in BDSM might be like, you're a big pervert, but I actually saw this graphic novel being touted around. People have been saying this is actually a really lovely book. So I sheepishly picked up a copy at MCM Comicon, like you do, like you're the naughty boy going into the newsagents, reaching for the top shelf. But actually, no, this is one of the sweetest books that I've read, and it kind of deals with a lot of the situations that you find yourself in relationships. What I also love about this, in a very similar way to Midnighter, is they are lesbians, but this is not. They're not. They don't set off of this. They basically they find each other because they both have a shared interest in BDSM. One likes to be domineering, the other one likes to be submissive, and together they just kind of they meet to indulge in their kind of pleasures, but they actually fall in love, and you get this really weird like, oh, but what is this? What do we mean to each other and things? And it's a really intriguing. It's one of the best depictions of love and real life relationship since I've read Scott Pilgrim in comic form, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's definitely worth a read. That Sunstone. I've only read the first volume. Beautiful art as well. Yeah,
I've got you lent me the book. I've got it at home, and I've had a quick flick through it. It's stunningly drawn. Yeah, it's lovely. Because
one of my gripes with Sex Criminals, another comic which is based around sex and relationship and things. Sex Criminals, I found, got very childish at times, running around waving dildos around in a sex shop, knocking everything over, and the focus moved away from the relationship and more onto this, that and the other, when actually an interesting dynamic to explore in these kind of comics is relationship and sex in itself. And I think that this one does it in a lot more mature and interesting way. Whereas as I was complaining, I was getting fed up of the dick jokes, whereas in this one it's a lot more serious and real. But yeah, that's what I've been reading.
Cool.
So we'll move on because we've got lots of like interviews and things to wedge into the show today. We're going to crack on with the news.
We are indeed. It's my turn. So Kermit and Miss Piggy have announced their breakup. It's really sad news. I know. I've named the news "Oh My God" reboots and number twos. I've named the news this time. But yeah, they've announced that they'll be reunited in a professional manner for ABC's The Muppet Show on the 22nd of September. But they're no longer an item. They're going to be seeing other
it's some
species.
Kind of thing spin before the new series, which looks weird.
I can't quite make out.
I think it's an interesting slant for Muppets to take the kind of mockumentary style. It looks like The Office with Muppets. It looks very weird, but I think they have to renew it because they did something new, which was returning to old weirdly, and when they came back, and then the Muppets Most Wanted probably was. I've heard people argue with me that I didn't like Muppets Most Wanted, but they said it was actually more like the Caper films from the 80s. But it just didn't work now. But hopefully this will, because they are a great bunch of characters, and it's just a bit of fun, really. But yeah, good to hear it. It's just a little bit of fun publicity, isn't it?
I like it. So the private screening of Batman Superman went down, and apparently was a huge success for the Warner Brother execs, and all the film crew finally got to see what they've been working on. It's rumoured that they're going to be shaping their movie universe around Affleck's Batman, which could potentially possibly see him in 3 standalone Batman movies. So we'll get a Batman trilogy with Affleck, which would mean he'd be in character, basically playing that character for next 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I think that's good. I think lots of people seem to complain that why is Warner Brothers using Batman so much for this. Well, he's their flagship character. You know, he is probably the most dynamically interesting character there as well. And you can only look at box office success from the Nolan films. That's what they've got to bank on. A good Batman, because Superman, the Donner films were great. Man of Steel split people, but it's kicked off the universe. But Batman's are consistent, and Batman's probably is. And I'm not being DC biased here. He is the biggest superhero around, I would argue. So yeah, I'm not surprised, and I'm quite pleased with that because I'm already liking what I'm seeing from Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. I've never ever seen a Bruce Wayne on film in live action that I felt is the Bruce Wayne that comes from the comics, and the glimpses I'm seeing of Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne feels like he's from these comics. And that's the difference, because what have we had before? I mean, Christian Bale played an interesting character, but I don't feel like he's Bruce Wayne from the comics. And, well, George Clooney, Val Kilmer, and even Michael Keaton, they're a little bit 2D, all of them. And Adam West is fantastic, but it's a comedy job in that one. So Yeah, I'm perfectly happy with them doing that, and I'm glad that it's gone down well, and I cannot wait to see it. You know my feelings on that one.
Yeah, I'm more and more intrigued as time goes on. I was a bit nonplussed, but actually the more I see and the more I hear, especially you guys get enthused and fill in the cracks between all the movies, I'm definitely, I'm give it a go. So I got distracted then slightly. He's gone now. There was a clown that followed me, and I made the mistake, like Lucy did at HorrorCon, of reacting to him. He then held my hand, staring into my face all the way down one of the aisles, and he keeps coming close, and I'm worried he'll spot me. So if I run off at any point, it's because the clown's found me.
I always like the cosplayers that really commit to the costume and the act and things, and he was doing all day.
He really
I
was
was
still
watching him
going.
earlier with great amusement as he decided to creep up behind children and things, and it's like this clown with his half of his face falling off with a balloon, and he is terrifying and he's brilliant, and
Yeah.
I love that. Although you've got to start questioning his sanity when he's been doing it for 7 hours or something.
Yeah, 7-8 hours straight. He's just not given up at all.
But it amuses him.
It's all good.
He might murder people in his spare time, but
Hey,
until he's caught, he can have fun.
He's having fun. Shane Black's been working on the screenplay for the new Predator movie. Apparently the film will be a sequel, but it's going to reboot the franchise. The producer John Davis has said that he's read the script and thinks it's genius and entertaining. What it does is recreate a famous franchise in a completely different and interesting way. The most interesting way to reinvent a franchise. I mean, hey, it's the guy who wrote Iron Man, apparently.
Iron Man 3, wasn't it?
Yeah. New Predator film. I don't know.
I just feel... we were listening to Freddie, what's he called, Robert Englund earlier, and he was saying though he doesn't feel too worried about people remaking his properties and things that he's starred in, not his properties but things he's starred in, because it's going to happen, and he says there's a lot of good ones and things, and I agree with that, but I don't think there's been a good Predator film since Predator.
No.
I don't think there has. Alien vs Predator isn't good. Predators was fine by all accounts, and Predator 2 is diabolical. I'm sorry, but
Predator 2 was watchable.
I think it's terrible.
You're not a fan?
I really don't like
Okay.
it. But I'm not a huge Predator fan overall, as you can probably tell. But it does make sense if they're giving Neil Blomkamp the Alien franchise. And I'm more on board with that. I don't know if Shane Black is it.
Shane Black. Yeah.
I don't know if he's got enough properties behind him to go, wow, he makes his own iconic style, he brings this thing. No, he just seems to be a very standard director, whereas at least Neil Blomkamp, even though he falls into his own tropes, he's got a very distinct style which he can bring to Alien. It's interesting what he can do with it, but Neil Black doesn't excite me that much, but we'll see.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We can't help this.
Yeah, exactly. I think what Robert Englund was saying is that about franchises. He said they're good sequels. He said without sequels, we'd live in a world where Aliens doesn't exist, and it's like that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got to happen. In West Philadelphia, born and raised in the playground, is where I spent most of my days. Are you not joining in?
No,
this is where we need Scott.
I don't do the singing.
I've just written in the news. I put the dots, thinking we'll sing and we'll join in, and Darn it.
Sorry.
Okay. So the Fresh Prince TV series is all set for a reboot with Will Smith to produce and Jada Pinkett Smith's production company Overlook Production are trying to find a network for it. Will Smith, given that he's not starring in Independence Day and apparently now he's rumoured to be not coming back for Bad Boys 3 and 4, they reckon Jaden Smith's going to step into the role.
God.
Yeah. So the unstoppable Smith family.
I found Fresh Prince really painful but entertaining at the same time. Will Smith is the most uncool cool guy. He really is. Will that translate now? Because I think from everything I hear and read of Jaden Smith, he is the most delusional, weird, annoying little creature, and I don't want to see him reenacting his father's role.
No.
But
hey ho,
these things happen, as we said earlier. We're not going to be able to stop them.
I know.
Bad idea, terrible idea.
Very bad idea. And Will Smith, weirdly enough, Will Smith is now older than Uncle Phil.
Oh wow!
At the start of
Uncle Phil's
Fresh
dead.
Prince, he's now older than the
dead.
character of Uncle Phil. Yeah. Sad news. Zac Efron has joined Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the Baywatch movie and has said the film is going to be big, fun, and rated R. Yeah.
An R-rated Baywatch. What's going to happen?
I don't know.
The swimsuit's going to fall off.
Actually going to get the instead of the hints at
Yeah, all the subtleties gone.
Yeah, exactly. All those sort of teenage boys tuning into Baywatch. It's going to be, they're all nude. Wait, great.
Zac Efron probably is the kind of guy who would be in this. It's a good call because he's been quite funny in things. I do like Zac Efron. He was in Bad Neighbours or Neighbours or whatever you want to call it.
Very good in that. 21.
The Rock can kind of, he can do funny, I suppose. Are they going funny, or is this going to be a straight one? I don't know.
Don't know. It sounds like fun. I don't know. It just says big fun and R. That's all we know.
And yeah, R-rated.
R-rated.
So I'm hoping that's swearing. And well, sod it. If they're running down this beach with tops off, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I don't
Steve.
know.
I don't know what that means.
Swearing and boobs and.
And people exploding. Maybe people are getting attacked by sharks.
Yeah, it's going to be the Baywatch everyone had in their heads as teenage boys tuning in.
Yeah. Shark attacks.
Yeah, shark attacks and boobs and swearing and I don't know. But yeah, that's happening. Bill Murray, after opting out and all the news, is finally going to get. He's agreed to a minor cameo in the Paul Feig Ghostbusters.
Well,
we'll see.
Paycheck, innit?
Exactly.
I don't know. As I say, it seems to be my go-to answer. My security answer is, I'll wait until I see it.
Yeah, exactly. It's happening.
I don't know if this is what I wanted from a Ghostbusters sequel, but it's happening.
It is.
It's the theme. It's my full stop to every news story.
I know.
It's happening.
Well,
There's
this is what I
nothing we
mean. The oh my god reboots and number twos. You'll see the rest of it is just the news is just so. Following on from number twos, Beetlejuice 2, the long-muted, often rumoured sequel, has finally been confirmed. Michael Keaton will reprise his role, Winona Ryder will return, and Tim Burton will write and direct.
That's cool. I want Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin back in as well.
Definitely, yeah.
I really like the idea that all these years later, Winona Ryder's still in the house, and she's a bit of a spinster now, because... maybe they've walked off at some point and gone into the ghost world and come back, but for them it's like it's been 10 minutes, but for Winona Ryder it's been 20, 30 years, and her parents are dead and things, and she actually sided with Michael Keaton, Beetlejuice. And I can see how they can do it. Tim Burton will direct.
Tim Burton's back on,
We don't want anyone else doing it.
No.
You can say what you want about Tim Burton in his more recent years, but this is one of his best properties.
Definitely.
And if it has to be done, it's got to be done by him. And that's good news. If it has to happen, this is good news. The right people are on board.
And I think it's one of Michael Keaton's finest roles. I don't think he's ever topped it. Really, he was born to play that part. He was incredible.
Well, I'm glad to see that he's turning back to his kind of different roles, because as much as I didn't like Birdman, I thought that Michael Keaton did a really good job in doing that role, that kind of delusional, silly, and it was a kind of a return back to comedy for him, which was cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it'd be good. Kindergarten Cop 2 has begun filming and will become a straight-to-DVD and streaming, if you can believe that. Dolph Lundgren will star. The director Don Michael, who's known for such films as Sniper Legacy, which I think was the fourth one, Jarhead 2 and Tremors 5. David H. Steinberg, who helped write part of the screenplay for American Pie 2, is doing the script. So yeah.
How bizarre.
I know.
I'm not...
I know, it just doesn't...
that sounds awful,
It sounds
frankly.
terrible.
Sounds awful.
Yeah.
Nobody's calling for it.
No.
Even the Kindergarten Cop as a movie is a bit of a joke. It's fun.
But
it's a bit of a, oh God, do you remember when he did that? It's up there with Twins and Junior.
Exactly.
Weird
it's
films
of its time. It's that 90s era of, oh God.
But yeah, it's an awful idea and nobody wants it.
Yeah.
That's my conclusion to that one.
I agree. Nightmare on Elm Street, we heard Robert Englund, who again is such a lovely man.
He's a lovely
wasn't he?
man.
He was really, really nice, and it was nice that a lot of the audience was sort of asking him non-Nightmare on Elm Street related questions, sort of his roles in other shows and films, and how that's.
The first question was a very Yorkshire boy going, "So how old are you?" And Robert Englund's like, "What? How old are you?" That's not revealing very much about what was said with the Q&A. Is there anything interesting he said? Freddy versus Jason was
Yeah.
was something that was going to happen from the start, apparently.
Yeah.
That there was constantly people asking him these questions, and then
Who would win in a fight between you and Jason?
Someone had drawn a big picture or had a tattoo.
They had a
or something
tattoo in a Japanese style in 1984 of Freddy wrestling Jason. So it's been around since then, but
What's your feelings on Freddy versus Jason, the film?
I enjoy it because as silly Nightmare on Elm Street got, it got more and more silly and more camp, more and more like throwaway, ridiculous comedy rather than horror. Whereas the Jason films tried to stay that serious horror, so it brings that comedy of Freddy to Jason's world.
The film's a bit shonky in my view, but what is a positive to it is the characters are the characters. They're not anything else. Freddy is Freddy, Jason is Jason, and that works. I mean, it gets a bit silly in places, but then that's the way, as he said, that Nightmare on Elm Street went. So it's all right.
It's been years since I've seen it.
Better than Alien versus Predator.
Yeah. Scott will be pleased with this news. James Wan is going to produce an upcoming Mortal Kombat movie reboot. New Line Cinema. New Line. Plans to reboot and resurrect the franchise. Oren Uziel and Dave Callahan are going to write the screenplay. They're known for the Expendables and Mortal Kombat Legacy movie.
They did that one online, didn't they? The Mortal Kombat series thing.
Yeah.
That was went down really well.
Incredible.
We were searching for ages to watch it on a streaming service, but we never found it.
No.
And then it now is on Netflix, so if you want to watch it,
Oh,
it's
okay.
on Netflix.
I might have to give that a go.
I do like the original ones. I think it's a property that can lend itself to a fun movie. But they always used to, with computer game films, try and make it something else.
They used to try and take themselves too seriously. Like, we're making a game and this is going to be a serious movie looking at these characters, and it never looked at the characters.
I think, though, the Mortal Kombat movie was an exception, and the Street Fighter was an exception to that. The only problem is they decided to change things that weren't particularly necessary.
Yes.
I mean, things are working now. The people are actually thinking when writing these and not just taking things for granted. So if it's got good people behind it, then I think it could work.
I mean, James Wan's got a good body of work behind him, and he's worked with a lot of different genres.
He's done good with the Fast and Furious. It's that kind of feel that you want, that kind of energy and fast-paced and that feel. And even his horror movies are quite like, he knows the horror and he boils it to the basics of what the general audience want to see, and I think if you can do that with Mortal Kombat, then it's probably in good hands, to be honest.
And I think with franchise like the game, you get into play like people like Freddy and Jason, and they're bringing in characters from other worlds and beat 'em ups now. So maybe that could be part of this rebooted movie franchise. So and lastly, the Lego Batman movie has found its Joker in the form of Zach Galifianakis. Will Arnett's going to reprise his role as the Caped Crusader, and we're going to have Zach Galifianakis voicing the Joker.
That works, I suppose. Yeah, they're going for a silly kind of slant. Lots of versions of the Joker coming along, isn't there?
It's nice to hear that Mark Hamill's going to step out of his retirement as the Joker for the...
Well, he always said, didn't he, a role he has always said, if there's any Joker role that he wants to do, it's going to be the Killing Joke, and it's the ultimate Joker story, let's be honest. And he's so loved from the animated series and the animated films that he's done, that to me it's the right choice.
Definitely
It's
got to be
right
done.
Choice. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, that was the news.
It's the news, and it's time for me to pack my bags and toddle off and usher in the Scott.
I'll sit in the same seats tomorrow.
Yeah,
so it doesn't feel
you're in charge now, Steve.
What?
You're in charge. Here's the gauntlet. You'll have to run this.
Okay, I can do this. I did WasCon. I got this. I'm now sat here with Steve, the artist of the comic Moon. Hi Steve, welcome to Will You Geek Speak.
Hello.
Hello. Would you like to tell us a little bit about Moon, please, and what Moon is, the comic?
Basically, not enough people seem to know about this, but the moon has been dropping out of the sky early hours of every morning now for the last 2,000 years, and most recently it's been putting on a suit, taking out a gun and fighting ridiculous crime.
Nice. Yeah. Sounds like an awesome idea.
Yeah, we're thinking what's the best way to tell people about it, television, radio or internet, and we thought, well, you know, let's do it as a comic so people take it seriously. And to be honest with you, it hasn't really worked out the way we expected.
How many comics have you done so far?
So far we are 3 down. 4 and 5 will be out very soon. 6 will be out in January is the hope. I always get a little bit more cautious. The more people listening to me when I say that, the more cautious I become at giving out specific times. But yeah, if it was 1 on 1, I'd be like, 4 and 5 will be out in October. January you'll see 6, and yeah, basically that's the plan. 2016, the intention is that all moon issues will be available.
Sweet. How many are you going to do eventually then? Have you got a plan? Have you got an end point?
Well, I mean, it always changes to plans, possibility of plans, but the initial idea was that we were going to do 6, story arc of 6, followed by 2 more story arcs of 6. I've got a graphic novel planned, Moon and Santa versus the Space Nazis, which will be out for a Christmas.
Nice.
Don't know
Nice.
what Christmas that'll be. That was meant to be a joke. That was never meant to actually be a thing. But everyone who saw the Moon and Santa versus the Space Nazis print has kind of demanded that it exists. So that's now a thing, full-on story. It's fully plotted, ready to go. There's a couple of other sort of, you know, large one-shots, you know, stuff like that. Basically, we're just going to see how it goes and play it. But that at the moment is the expanse of how far we will take it.
Where'd you come up with the ideas?
See, it wasn't me. It was Dan Thompson, the writer. And years ago, he was involved in a film competition, and the film title had to be "The Day the Moon Got Too Close." So everyone else was thinking, "Oh well, you know, tides rising, all that sort of stuff." You know, standard imagination. Dan, being Dan, thought, "Well, that sounds like a detective story." So you had a minute and a half of a car chase and a gunfight. So basically, it was just looking at that. There was an attempt to make it into a half-hour film. We just didn't have the budget. The cast was around during the week, and the crew was around on the weekend. So ridiculous. Wasn't working. So basically, the only way to do it in a budgetless way to show what the idea was with a comic.
Would you turn to crowdfunding now the comic's sort of out? Would you turn to crowdfunding and do the movie? Is it something you could go back to?
I know a lot of people are really big fans of crowdfunding, but it's not something that I personally believe in. I think it works for an awful lot of people, and I'm not saying that it's a bad idea, but I don't like the lack of security it offers. Weirdly, because what you're doing is you're always offering something in advance of it. It's been paid for before you're actually offering it up, and that to me seems, in this day and age, it's a flipping good idea to be able to do that, because it's people being able to take responsibility for their own stuff. But actually, in real terms, if you're confident and established and you have the fan base, you should be able to generate. In order to justify, say, a Moon film, we should be able to generate enough money from the books to fund the film. If we're not, then actually there's not enough interest in the film. So actually, you're sort of walking into a vacuum, if you know what I mean.
I can see that.
So that isn't something. One of the things we're very proud of is the fact that we started with a certain amount of money, and no money has ever been added to that.
Okay.
So we had an initial small amount, which paid for the initial run of 230 books, and that's it. Everything else has been paid for since through that. So we know it can be done. I think if you know there's a following, then I think Kickstarter stuff's great. I just personally, it worries me, because I always feel like you're putting one foot too far in front of yourself, and it always feels like, okay, because the support comes from people who want to support you, but you're already offering something back. You know, there's gifts and presents and things like that for different levels. So you're already sort of offering something back for them for their investment. So it all seems it doesn't feel quite right for us. For us, it feels like build the book. If people like the book, then you can make more books. If you see what I mean. But it should be as a result of the popularity of it, not on an assumption of it.
Definitely. How long have you been a graphic artist?
At 3 years old, the only story I really know about is that at 3 years old I drew 2 pirate ships, both in perspective, and my mum went, "On a minute, this kid's a bit." Basically, one pirate ship was slightly higher and visibly smaller, and the perspective was correct.
Nice.
So my mum was just like, I think we have a problem here.
Wait a second.
So that was it. Basically, I've always drawn.
Yeah.
Basically, to be honest with it, if I could do it now the way I did it then, which was basically lying on my front, drawing on computer paper with a biro, then I would. In fact, I'm actually planning a number of pieces of artwork actually drawn in biro.
Oh, sweet.
Because I have actually spoken to a number of the artists,
Yeah.
and we are actually all agreed that it's actually one of the best types of line drawing pen.
Right. Okay.
But you always shy away from it because it's a biro.
Yeah. And you're like,
But
all these fancy
the actual
pens
the lightness of the line is I think second only to pencil.
wow.
So it's actually a fascinating. Well, sometimes I'll use it in like very large pictures of say our character Shades Rodriguez, where he's got stubble. I'll use it to put the stubble on because it's just it's a thinness that isn't, you know. You have to be careful how you scan it, but basically, biro's an astonishing for cross hatching. There's no better pen for cross hatching than a biro. It's ridiculous.
I look forward to seeing those. You've got the prints here as well on the stall. Do you get commissioned to do prints as well?
No, I just got completely carried away.
You just get carried away and do amazing things.
Initially, I just decided that it was. We talked about it and we were like, well, we're not going to do characters.
Okay.
Initially, it was going to be Moon with famous characters.
Right. Okay.
And then we thought, oh, that's a good way to get done for copyright.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, in that case, let's have Moon dressed as the characters.
Yeah.
Really. So it was all very cynical, but I've got carried away with it now because it is basically a license to draw every character in the universe.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Thor, Lion-O, Superman.
Well, Thune, Supermoon, Lion Moon, Heisen Moon, the Incredible Mook.
Heisen. Oh yeah, I've just seen Heisen.
Yeah. We got Judge Moon, Luke Moonwalker, Optimoon Prime, Rocket Ramoon and Groon, and Dead Moon.
That's amazing.
Unfortunately, we've sold out of Wolverine, Batmoon, Captain America, and Iron Moon.
Where can people go and find out more about your stuff and buy the prints and things?
If they go to www.beyondthebunker.com, it's in the process at the moment of being rebuilt.
Okay.
I've been a bit of a one-man band for a little while now.
Okay.
So it's basically just a case of I don't know what the hell I'm doing with the website.
Okay.
So basically, I've found a genius to come and do it for me.
Cool.
So the idea is it's going to come back better and bolder. And when we're launching the new titles in October, the idea is that we'll also launch the website as well, the new website. So everything will become available on the website all at once.
So watch this space in October.
It will be new prints, posters, new titles. There may be digital stuff that is actually only available online.
Ah, okay.
Because I kind of want to start moving, as well as the cons have served us.
Yeah.
I want to be able to sort of push people towards the web a little bit.
Yeah.
So that in the interval, because like for instance Sheffield, we're not going to be back in Sheffield probably until next year. So if there's people that only come to Sheffield, there's no way to get us unless we push the website.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
That's cool.
Make the website worth visiting.
Yes, definitely. Are you on Twitter at all, or?
Yeah, we've got Twitter, Beyond the Bunker both times. Basically, it's
sweet.
Beyond the Bunker, no gaps.
Cool.
On Facebook and on Twitter. But actually, if you type in Beyond the Bunker with gaps into the search, then
it still comes up. That's cool. We were talking the other day, as a podcast, we were saying that we spoke to you in Kapow, the last Kapow they had. I think it was 2000 and I can't remember what year it was. When you just released Moon and you were giving away the badges, so things have gone really well since then.
Yeah.
So it's really good to see the book. Have you got any advice out there for anyone that's sort of starting out or trying to do this sort of thing? Because obviously you've done really well and you seem pleased with the direction you're going in, but obviously it's a tough world to crack.
Basically, there's a huge amount of advice that can possibly be given because there's so many different aspects to it. But fundamentally, you have to be absolutely sure that what it is you're going out there with is something that is going to be embraced by the people you're selling to. You have to feel good about what it is you're pushing on people. There have been books in the past where you sort of feel a little bit guilty because one element of it might not be up to scratch. Sort of thing. If you feel you're still at amateur level, then you can't push in the same way. Treat it as the hobby that it is while you're still practicing.
Cool.
But there has to be a point at which you sort of say, right, I'm a professional.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to do, and you have to have that confidence in what you're doing. So at that point, you need to make sure that the material is up to scratch.
Yeah.
That you're not disappointing any customers. You got to make sure that you're prepared to work as hard as you possibly can, and fundamentally not give up. It can get very, very difficult, very hard indeed, and it doesn't pay its way to begin with. But if you're not willing to push through the bit where it doesn't, you're never going to get to the bit where it does.
Yeah,
that's kind of the. Don't be disheartened.
Cool.
As long as you have faith in the material, there is always someone else out there who hasn't bought it, who hasn't owned it yet. Really.
Awesome advice, yeah. Thank you very much, Steve, and we look forward to catching up with you and seeing the success of Moon and seeing where you go from there. It's
Thank
awesome.
you very much.
Thank you for your time. So it's Sunday and we're here for day 2 of Film and Comicon Sheffield. But yeah, massive thank you to Showmasters for providing us with the press passes. Greatly appreciated. We've had an amazing time, met some lovely people so far. Scott, how are you finding today? Scott's here. Woo!
I love Comicons. They're just geeky car boot sales where everyone dresses up. It's just a visual representation of my drunken Amazon shopping, as I've said before. So I just wander looking at all the things I want and can't afford in life.
That's the problem, isn't it? If you were rich, you could just buy everything. You just walk past the stall and go, I want one of them. I'm buying it. I'm having it.
Like I'm staring at a large inflatable Robin doll. Now, I've got nowhere to put that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. What would I even do with that?
Don't know.
Lie on it.
Has it got holes in it?
I'm not going to play with it. What am I going to do? But I kind of want that because I'm looking at it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm looking at a giant Hello Kitty.
And then you can't just buy Robin, can you? So
no,
you'd have to buy Batman.
You'd have to get Batman.
And then you kind of go, oh well, they need a villain.
Yeah.
And you're like, why?
Well, they've got to have a villain. They're lonely. They've got nothing to do.
No. So Comicons, they just taunt me. They remind me that I have to succeed in this rat race to get geeky rewards.
I know, this is it. It's like every year I think I'll save. If you saved a £5 a week until next year's Comic-Con, you could buy all the stuff next year. But
carrying it.
It's doing it. I know. You'd have to have a suitcase or like a butler. You'd have to hire a butler for the day.
And do you find you have different levels? Like you have that sort of level of you have to buy something here. Then you have a level of all these are the things I could sort of buy or might buy in one day. Then you have the level of like if you opened, it's like a set of floodgates, and if you open one, you'd like if you spent £5 more, you'll spend £50 more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've entered a new tier.
This is it.
Like things.
Yeah, you've got to have a limit. It's similar to wine. When you buy a good wine and you step up a notch and you buy that $6.99 bottle, it's really nice, and then you can't go back to the $5.99
No,
bottle.
because you're a better person now. Yeah, you can't go back.
It's
to
all
the
about the
cheap stuff.
$6.99.
You've graduated as a person.
Exactly. You've levelled up. There's no going back down.
Once you start going to Waitrose, you can't pop in Netto.
No, exactly.
You're a Waitrose.
It's not happening. It's exactly how it feels. And once you've bought a badge here, you then got that inclination to buy something a bit bigger.
That's why I've got a rule now. If it's not going to be vaguely useful, I can't get it.
Fair enough. Yeah, because last time you got a watch.
I got a watch and a bag, yeah.
Which you have both today.
But all that means is I spend a lot of time looking at like wallets and lanyards and anything I could vaguely justify in a court of law.
Baseball caps, sunglasses, hats.
Well, I needed that. It's really sunny out. I needed that Mario hat.
And it's sunny for a few months of the year, so I can justify buying these.
I don't want heat stroke, do I?
Oh,
so I needed that Wario hat and moustache combination.
Because my top lip doesn't want to get sunburned.
Yeah.
And it's the place I forget to sun cream.
And I needed that stuffed one-up mushroom. What if I died?
Exactly.
What if I died in that outfit?
We're talking of purchases. You've bought. What have you bought? Read it out. What is
I
it?
can't remember the store.
That's
which
what
is
it's
terrible
called.
of me. Is it Snicked and Banff?
Yeah, Snicked and Banff.
And you guys made me purchase a lucky bag for £5 because I'm very susceptible to people in my ear.
And it says on it, "Do I feel lucky?" Well, do you, punk? Let's see if
So
Scott's
I'm gonna see
lucky,
what I
shall
get.
we?
And if this isn't £5 worthy, I'm killing you.
I might give you £1. If you're a
Would
bit
you?
disappointed, I'll give you £1.
Really?
Yeah.
That's on record.
Yeah, on record. I'll give Scott £1 if he's disappointed.
Right.
Here we go. Sorry about the rustling.
Okay, I've got Green Lantern cufflinks.
After the conversation we had earlier
where
about cufflinks.
I explained how I find them weirdly useless, and you never wear cufflinks ever.
But you fucking love the Green Lantern.
But now I've got Green Lantern.
You love Green Lantern.
Andrew's getting married.
Yeah. There you go. Wear them at the wedding.
Some Haribo. Some sour Haribo.
Right now, I'm sensing your luck. It's all dispersing because you just feel so lucky.
Oh,
that's
Avengers,
pretty sweet.
But a Captain America Wasp, and I don't know who that is.
That's pretty sweet though. It's a bottle opener.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
yeah. It's a
Oh, I
keyring
thought it
bottle
was a
opener.
badge. Oh, yeah, it is. It's a keyring bottle opener.
That's quite sweet. What else?
I got some
A
Mawams. They've just given me loads of sweet. That's it.
That's
bloody it.
That's good.
What's some like?
A bottle opener and
I
some
could have bought.
cufflinks for Andrew's
They're
wedding.
what, 50p.
That's amazing.
So I spent a £5 on some cufflinks and a bottle opener. So your wedding's sorted, Andrew. Emergency wedding kit.
It's all good.
I'm
yeah.
too susceptible to anything like that. Like
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lucky
the
chest
problem.
somewhere, lucky
Yeah.
bag. Like, oh, give me £1 and you'll see if you win. And
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm a gambler at heart.
Yeah.
I just want to ride my luck.
In
all
a
the
gambler,
time.
just what is in it? And then you walk around the aisles thinking, I wonder what's in that box. And you
But
can't
I
get it.
know, I consciously know, logically, I'm not going to get anything I would buy.
Yeah.
And if I did, I could probably buy it for less than a £5.
But it's that thrill. You wouldn't get
Yeah.
that adrenaline rush of buying it. Just
But
can I have
I
one of
didn't
them,
know what
please?
I'd got.
Exactly.
I didn't know I had 2 Mawams.
Heck no.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I was living in ignorance.
Yeah. And now you just
Wow.
it's all good.
And that's all
Yeah.
I've got. And a Batman lanyard.
And we saw Michael Banff.
Who?
What was Michael?
Bien.
Michael Bien. I got his name
It's
wrong.
hard to
Anyway,
say.
to get
It's
something wrong.
B-I-E-H-N. Bien.
Bien.
Just said Bean.
Bean. Michael Bean.
Let's call him. It probably
Bean.
is. It's Bean, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw him.
Yeah, we watched him talk a lot
He was
of
really entertaining,
Terminator
talking about
and
aliens and
question.
Terminator. Yeah,
Uh,
exciting guy. He said he preferred Kyle Reese, and I think you said you wrote a blog on Terminator, didn't you? And you pretty much echoed what he said about him being a walking exposition.
Yeah, I always call Kyle Reese a walking exposition machine. But that's his character.
Yeah.
That's why he's cool.
And he said he really enjoyed that's why it's one of his favourite roles, because he gets to be that guy that tells the story. Because the lead role is Arnie, and he can't do that because he doesn't speak.
And then he made that joke saying he talks for 2 hours, and Arnie says, "I'll be back," and that's what everyone quotes. which I think
Yeah.
he's obviously practiced that over various Comicons.
definitely.
You know what I mean? You can always sense a bit of a he's got that
there's always
down,
like,
hasn't
oh.
he? Part of his Comicon
It's a
shtick.
spiel. That's it. It's a spiel.
I've always liked him though. I
Yeah.
mean, I grew up on Terminator and Aliens, and I know he's in The Abyss and Planet Terror and stuff like that, but like, I don't know, he's that cool guy from the 80s
He is.
with those action roles.
It's good to see him and
Cool
hear
to
about
see
all
him,
the
man.
things he's been in. Cool. Right, we're going to go and have another little wander and hopefully interview some people, and we'll be back in a bit. See you later.
Where's Gayers?
I'm joined by Chris from Reckless Hero. Hi, Chris. Welcome to Geek Speak.
Hi there, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Yeah, how's your weekend been so far at the con?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. Met some really nice people. Been really busy throughout, so it's been fantastic.
Do you want to tell, for those who don't know who you are, we've interviewed Reckless quite a few times. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what we do?
Yeah, we're Reckless Hero. We make kind of comic art and comics, T-shirts, a lot of anything we can put kind of comic art on. We're really interested in kind of comic art design. So we're doing that. We've got our own website at recklesshero.com. We're still over through and trying to get a lot of our stuff into comic book shops and things like that.
Cool. And what is it you do specifically?
I write the comic and also do all the colouring and lettering in the comic.
A year ago at this con, we sat here and you had the idea for the comic and you were working on it, and it was due out in around November. So how's the comic gone? What's the last year been like?
Oh, it's been fantastic to actually kind of to do the comic in the first place, rather than just talk about doing the comic. It's been a fantastic achievement that we're really proud of. We released it in late December, early January time, and the response to it has been absolutely fantastic. We sold over 400 copies of it now, which we're really pleased about. We didn't think it'd go anywhere near that well, and we've recently got it on Comixology as well, so we're really happy about that, because we've got a lot of people asking from abroad how can they get hold of it, and shipping it just isn't kind of like viable really. So the fact they can access it digitally there means we reach a whole lot more people, and we've noticed we get a lot more interest from the States and places like that, and the other stuff in prints and T-shirts, because we can they've read the comic through Comixology, so that's been brilliant.
The comic's The Last Sheriff. Do you want to give a little brief description of what it's about for people that haven't read it? Because I've read the first issue and it was fantastic. I'm waiting on the second one, which I believe you're working on.
Yeah, we are working on that. It's, thanks very much for the comments. Yeah, it's a futuristic sci-fi tale following the kind of the lead character, the last sheriff. John H. Wilson is his real name. he was part of the sheriffs who were the law and order in the land, but they were driven out by a group called the Coalition who took over, and now they rule under kind of under an iron fist, if you like. And now, so he's the sole surviving one. Nobody actually going to believe there wasn't any of them left; thought they were completely wiped out. And so it's a start of a bit of a revenge tale, trying to kind of like bring back a bit of order to the lands. So.
It is fantastic, and it does leave you wanting more. So when you'd announced the second one, it was like brilliant. Any news on when the second one's going to be out at all?
We're looking at October time.
Cool.
The latest we're looking would be the November Comicon in Manchester. That's quite a good place to launch it. But hopefully I'll probably get it online in October. That's the plan anyway. Fingers crossed.
Have you been to many cons this year?
Oh yeah, we've done quite a few around the country. The only place we haven't been down to this year was London. We couldn't get in there unfortunately, which is a little bit disappointing. But we've been to Manchester twice, we're at the Sheffield one now, we've done Birmingham, Doncaster, Telford, loads, just trying to get out there and just meet as many people as we can really.
So. You mentioned Manchester, have you got any more coming up between now and the end of the year?
Not in Manchester. We've got one in Birmingham, the ICE, I think it is, International Comics Exhibition. That's late August, I think. We have... Which other ones do we have? Sorry. Birmingham NEC in end of November. Yep, we've got that one. Nottingham Comicon. That should be a good one. It's quite local for that one. So that'll be fantastic. Leicester Comicon as well. Yes,
cool.
yes, They've still got a few left. We may get into the Cardiff Comicon as well, which is the start of November time. That's what we're looking at because we've never been there, so it's kind of really good to kind of meet new people from new areas and stuff like that.
Definitely. Cool. Is there anything else you'd like to mention, and just basically just give us where can we find out more about your cons and artwork and comics?
Yeah, we're on recklesshero.com. We're also on Facebook facebook.com/recklesshero HQ. So you can contact with us there, and just thank everyone for their kind of support with the comic. We had loads of really positive feedback, and everyone just asking when issue 2 is out. We'll just get it done as soon as we can.
I'm now joined by Dara. Dara, welcome to Weekly Geek Speak. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do, please?
Yes, well, basically what I do is cartography, but it's cartography more aimed towards fantasy worlds and video games. And I do this mostly as a hobby, but I've somehow made it into a sort of semi-part-time, full-time job while I'm in college. And I've been doing it now for the last 3 years. Okay. I started in Ireland, and I went to Belfast, Dublin, things like that. And I've moved recently to England, so I've decided that I thought I'd take my sort of endeavour to England and start selling around the country. And I do this quite a lot. I do it about maybe two times a month, I would say, to be approximate. It's quite a lot actually. Yeah, this year actually since September last, I've done about maybe 19 conventions.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's finding the time to travel, to pay for it, and then also to have time to design new work. It's getting that balance, and also with college work and other commitments. So I find it very difficult, but other than that, I quite enjoy this. It's quite nice meeting new people and everything.
So you mentioned at college, how did you get into sort of designing the maps? Because obviously they're very sort of stylized and unique. How did that come about?
Well, the funny thing is, right, I had friends who were doing on the convention scene long before I was, but they were selling more like fan art things of like from animes and TV shows and stuff, and they were doing pretty well. And they said like, we do this and we make a good bit of money at weekends. And I thought, well, okay. And I drew maps just for fun. My first one was actually a map from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Oh, nice.
So it was the Grand Sea Charter.
Yeah.
I did it like a very kind of piratey sort of style. And I did that, and it was on paper, and looking back, it was pathetic looking at it. It was really meek, but it sold out really well. I made like £200 in like Belfast, and I thought, right, okay. And I thought, people were saying, this is new, I haven't seen this before. And I kind of thought, well, I'll do something else. And I did Full Metal Alchemist, and that was a pretty good map of Amestris, and that came about really well. And that was paper at the time, and I thought, well, it was making money, and I was doing pretty well. And I thought, my God, okay, maybe I'm onto something here. And I did a few more. I did Attack on Titan, and I did Tamriel from Elder Scrolls. So
nice.
yeah. So I brought them to a convention in paper. I did them tea-stained actually at first. Sweet. On paper, and looking back, it looks pathetic to what it is now.
Right,
but what happened? My maps now are in a canvas form, they're like a material fabric. But the thing about it came across by accident. What happened is I bought some fabric in a charity shop, some canvas in a roll, and I had a nice big printer, and I thought, well, let's put it in and see what it's like, because I always thought of the idea of doing it on papyrus paper, but it's so expensive to source that. So I thought, well, what I'll do is that I'll put it through this thing. I'll cut it to an A3 size and put it through the feeder, and I had the ink and it printed it out, and I came back and I went, holy God, it actually looks quite good, you know. And I was really happy. It had that kind of organic-y sort of cotton feel to it, but it wasn't synthetic in any way. It was very natural, very fluid. It was very fluid. So, and I did that, and then I sold that, and then people were going. I was doing a comparison, so I was at the transition period between card. So I had card at this stage, and then I did canvas, and people kept drifting towards the canvas, and I thought, right, that's it. Card's gone out of the picture. Printed all the work I had previously on my canvas, and it's been incredibly successful now. And I do more of these things called national park sort of variations of, like, let's say not a Mestris, but let's say Westeros. So I basically would adopt the American sort of template stencil for their national parks.
Right, okay, yeah.
And I did it with I've done it with Elder Scrolls. I've done it with
you did Fallout. I think I saw Fallout.
That's right,
as well.
Fallout 3
Fallout
here.
Incredible.
Doing Fallout 3 right now, and I'm going to be doing Fallout 4 when it comes out in November, I hope.
Oh, that's good. I hope it does.
The thing about it, right, I find that with these is that they take a lot more work than the canvas ones, because with the canvas work it's much more fluid, it's much easier to draw, because you can kind of have a lot more mistakes that you can hide, but with precision drawing it's much easier to spot a mistake because it stands out like a sore thumb.
What do you use for kind of the source material?
Well, for example, with Westeros, obviously the source material would be the books themselves, but I would use the stencil template. That would be very similar to the national parks, and I'd apply that. I would find it online and find it as close as I can to the original one, and then use that as its template then. But with source material, like, say, for example, my Hobbit map, it's a much more elaborate version than the original one in the books, and the ones you see like in the fan arts and stuff like that. I just kind of let myself go with it a wee bit, and I have the hand there coming from the left, but and the dragon, I did my own version of the dragon. It was just basically my interpretation of these maps and how I perceived them, and it gives me a bit more creative power to sort of do what I want rather than copying something directly, because I can also say it's my own, but with also the influence of the show itself.
Definitely, Have you done one for Skyrim?
I am doing Skyrim as a national park style.
Nice.
The Cyrodiil nearly killed me. I nearly destroyed my computer as well.
Wow.
I'm in the process of doing Skyrim right now. It's going to be something similar to what it's like here, with the green sort of land with the border.
Sweet.
And I did Tamriel in a more kind of tea stain style, but that was in a canvas fabric.
Right.
And it seems to be a split between people's preference. People seem to like this also just as much as the canvas now. So I'm sort of in this middle ground where I'm just doing both. So for now it's going pretty well. I mean, in the future something might change, but right now it pays the bills. Right?
I think when we walked past, Scott said, I would buy a Pokemon one. Have you done Pokemon ones?
Yes, I have a Kanto version of it, but I'm not happy with it yet. I sold it a few times and people were happy with it, but it really has to come down to me whether I'm happy with it or not. Right. I'm going to sort of experiment with different ideas. I mean, I made the Kanto map like a ye olde sort of medieval England, so I had like that kind of old English font as its city, so I treated it like very almost like Victorian or Edwardian in nature. So it was like that, but it's nice, but I'm still not done with it yet. I'm still trying to work with the little details, but that will probably come out, I'd say, sometime next year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. Where can we find more about your work or see your work online?
Okay, well, you could probably find my website at www.redstone.com. I've just set it up. And
cool.
I used to be called Slothical Creation, but I've changed it now because I wanted something a little bit more serious. I thought it was a bit more, my name was a bit more childish, but I did it because I didn't take it too seriously at first. But now it's taking more serious, so I'm going to have to take a more serious approach to things. So you check it out there. My website's not really up yet, but if you give it to maybe October, maybe I'd say things will be up there.
Cool. And where can we find you next? Which is the next
convention?
Do you know?
I would say I'm going to Dublin actually. I'm going to
back to Dublin.
Yeah, going back to Dublin, but then I'm back in. I'm definitely in London in October.
Cool.
So if you're going to London, I'll definitely be at the MCM in Dublin.
Awesome.
London, sorry.
Fantastic.
That's
Lovely.
it.
Dara, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much
for
having me.
We'll catch up with you again sometime soon, I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. So we've reached the end of another fantastic day at Comicon. Again, it's very strange not having all three of us here. It feels very odd, but you know, we've seen some cool stuff.
We've all been here over the course of the weekend. We've just split it up like child minding.
Yeah, you've looked after me.
Yeah, like,
you've taken turns in being my carer.
Andrew looked after you on Saturday, but because of our horrible, messy divorce, I get you on Sundays.
Yeah,
and
okay.
then, you know, Andrew gets to put his feet up and enjoy single lifestyle, doesn't he?
It's been nice.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Shout out to Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, this is weird. I'm going to have to ask myself, what time is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or I could just ask you.
You could ask me.
What time is it, Steve?
It's time for This Week The Geeks Have Spoken.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's not the same, is it?
It's weird.
Because I felt like someone else had to do that bit.
Exactly.
Because I'd moved.
Oh, no.
Oh,
this is bizarre. And you're sat the other side of me.
When was the last time we
Not
just
sure
had a
how
podcast? It was all three of us
I
just
don't
in
know.
a room.
It feels like it's been
just in a room normally. All three of us. The original weekly Geek
It
Speak.
just feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
We will. We'll be back. Before we start, how have you found today?
I always find Comicons, they're like Groundhog Day, aren't they? I think they're all the same essentially. You wake up, you feel vaguely tired, then you get weirdly excited, and then you have this weird, oh, is that it feeling? And then you actually start buzzing off the, this is good.
Definitely.
And then you get a bit like weirdly drunk off it, and then you have a weird crash.
Yeah.
And then the coolest things happen towards the end, and then you leave.
Yeah, definitely.
I always find that in every Comicon.
Completely, and it's totally flagging now. It's gone really quiet.
Yeah.
It's nice. You can just mill around and look at the stalls.
This is my favourite time.
Yeah, definitely.
When it's like, it's mellow, most people have got what they want, there's bargains to be had, there's people you can actually talk to.
Yeah.
Most people have left. I can see the shop floor.
Yeah, it's good.
I feel like there's not long left, but I don't want to go. It's just nice.
Yeah.
It's pleasant.
It's a nice feeling. So we'll start with 3-word reviews. As always, the Pete Bushbauer, the king of 3-word reviews, at Popular Outcasts on Twitter. Pete, thanks for all your reviews.
What numbers is it up to? Do we know?
Do you know what? I stupidly haven't written it down.
It's okay.
I think it was 315 from what I remember.
Oh, Popper. Ooh, that sounds like a September finish to me.
Well, we do have a tweet. Before I get to it, he watched Fantastic Four and said better than anticipated, 6 out of 10.
It's been really, really, really. Well, I'd say splitting people, but that's a lie. It's been universally hated, but you get the odd sort of, well, leave it alone. It's all right, actually.
Okay.
I've still not seen.
No, we promised we'd have watched it, and we do apologise. Scheduling and timing, we haven't had a chance.
Nothing will prove to you guys how busy I've been. Obviously, I've not been on the podcast as much. People may have noticed, but there'll be no bigger indicator than the fact there's a superhero movie out that's been out in its 3rd week, and I've not watched it. And even though I was really meh for it, I always watch a superhero film in that first. And I've not had time.
No.
So I can't comment myself, but I've heard nothing but negative.
Same, yeah.
Nothing but negative. But in a way, that makes me almost more defiant and determined to watch it.
Yeah.
Because, I'm the guy who defends Green Lantern and Daredevil director's cuts. And
and
I'm sure there's something I couldn't enjoy in there.
Yeah, and I'm the guy who likes the underdog film, so I've got nothing invested in it. So if I enjoy it, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to lie and be, it didn't do it right, or it was. If it entertained me.
I always find there's always a superhero film once in a while that just feels like a weird tipping point for potential superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
And I think this might be one of the. I think a lot of people had the knives out before anything was.
No, they did, and there's Josh Trank going all over the internet going, it's not the film I wanted, I made a much better film than this, why are people hating it?
Which I find a bit crass, actually.
I do, it's a bit weird.
It's a bit like, don't blame me.
Don't blame me, it's not my fault.
And I sympathise with you.
I do, but again, he let it, I don't know, it happened.
He should have done the Joss Whedon tactic where essentially say it whilst not saying it.
Yeah.
Like, more or less make it incredibly clear.
Yeah.
Marvel messed you about.
Yeah.
Whilst just not
getting
being
on with
it. Yeah, not being a bitch about it.
Exactly. So yeah, Pete, thanks for that review. That's the only one. There was another one today, but he was on target for 365 in August. He was well on track for that, but he said at @JazzPirate_Pirate would have won, but his comedy schedule's ramped up. Sorry, Steve, genuinely sorry.
Well, what Pete Bushbauer does not know is I've been kind of behind the scenes trying to help his comedy career.
Fantastic. Well, he's done 8 nights
just
straight.
Been cold calling a lot of clubs. Because I really want to win this. I don't know. Nice to me.
I find it strange. It's strange. He's suddenly busy around a month. I'm gonna. If you can hear that, that's the cosplay competition about to kick off.
That's my triumphant music. They insist on playing it for me at every Comicon. It gets a bit embarrassing sometimes.
Yeah, he's letting them wait. He's doing the letting the warm-up act do their thing.
I think Sean Kelly's arrived. I think that's...
Hollow Spy at Hollow Spy saw Ex Machina and just said spectacular sci-fi 9 out of 10.
I really want to see that. I know Hollow Spy is a big fan of his sci-fi, but you raved about it as well.
It's a great
and
film.
It struck me as a really intriguing film when I saw the trailer. You're probably getting some horrible back noise.
You probably are.
It feels like there's several concerts all competing for noise. It feels like, do you know that bit in Scott Pilgrim when they're doing the Battle of the Bands?
Yeah.
Imagine we're in the middle.
Yeah, we literally are in the middle of the two stages.
As the epic fight for noise is happening around us. But we're doing our best.
We will.
Andrew's somewhere editing, pulling his hair out.
He is. We'll carry on regardless. Gang leader Luke Pietnik at Luke Pietnik saw Inside Out and said beautiful world building.
I've heard, not mixed is not the right word, because genuinely positive stuff, but people just... I think a lot of people expect some weird gut-punching instant classic thing from Pixar. So if a film's just good or clever, they almost like judge it harsher than it is.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a bit of that from this. I haven't seen it myself.
I've seen it, but I'm saving my thoughts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But I really want to watch it. I might have a day actually this week. I bang out Fantastic Four and Inside Out. Yeah,
I'm intrigued as to what you think. Jen at J Tidders saw Inside Out and said psychology geek's dream 9 out of 10.
That's the impression I get. Like I just think I'll enjoy its quirkiness and its ideas rather than expecting oh, is it going to rip my heart out? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which you can't. I don't want that from every Pixar film. I'll become desensitized. I always want to forget they do that.
Yeah.
So when a puppy dies at the beginning of the next one,
I'm
a mess.
Exactly, blubbering mess. Pause it. I need a tissue. She also saw Diary of a Teenage Girl, coming of age, 7 out of 10.
I happen to know at the end of the credits for this, there's just a giant drawn cock that little hearts spew out of jism.
I didn't stay till the end credits. Damn
it!
it!
You should have. You missed the cock.
I missed the big spunking cock.
You missed the cock.
Damn it!
Sorry, dude.
Michael Saborin at the Flickist saw his walk to work today. Bit warm out.
I had a very similar experience actually. It was just it weren't too bad. There were a mild breeze.
Yeah.
But I just hope
3 words.
I hope Mother Nature can do better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Reboot.
Reboot.
I said we reboot it every other day.
Start again. Do it again. Some guy who's never tweeted us before, Buttercup Camel Toe at Jazz_Pirate. I'm not sure who that is. Saw episode 1 of a Netflix series, The Fuzz, and said shitty Sesame Street, 1 out of 10.
I've seen that. There was a weird influx on Netflix. They put Gotham on, haven't they?
Yeah.
Stuart Lee's comedy vehicle, which I love.
It was brilliant. I've watched all of that now.
It's my favourite comedian.
But
and I saw that, and there's a puppet involved. I do have that weird side of me that's I have to watch that.
That's what I did.
I don't know why I have to.
No,
why do I have to? Because it's a puppet in it.
Yeah.
But I do have to.
Yeah.
So I will watch that at some point.
I wouldn't bother. Save your time. Save your time.
Bad?
Terrible. And I like smutty jokes and innuendos and humour. It was terrible. It was awful.
Is that how you felt?
Hey.
Oh, that's as good as you get in at this time at Comicon.
I like it. Muthridge Caniv at M3JCNV. Thanks for your selfie with your 3D glasses, reading a bit of Douglas Adams. Hashtag
Nice.
WGS selfie. That's awesome.
Hitchhike. There's been a lot of hitchhikers quotes aimed at me recently. I feel like it's. Do you ever just feel like around you things have weird resurgences? Not in any genuine, palpable pop culture way, but just in your immediate vicinity way. I feel like hitchhikers and Douglas Adams quotes are on the rise.
They're coming back. They're making it back. I threw a question out on Twitter. What's the creepiest or scariest game we've ever played? Michael Beddoes at Michael Beddoes said Resident Evil 1 on the PS1. Thinking of the diary entry / cupboard sequence still makes me sweat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, terrifying. I do remember that the first time that zombie looked round at you.
Yeah,
oh.
I never played it firsthand. I was at my mate's watching him play.
Yeah.
I was one of those people.
Yeah.
If you can't afford a game, go and watch your mate play the game.
Definitely. Definitely. It's far more fun. Thomas Austin Morgan at Hey It's Me Tom. It's either the original Silent Hill or the PT demo for the latest one. So atmospherically absorbing.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of that online. I think I watched a Let's Play of PT. It looked really interesting.
Yeah. I had to go and dig that out because it kind of came and went. It was one of those limited one-off things.
I remember, yeah.
Very creepy. And Mike and Carl at Two Board Vets said, Fear, hands down, played it in the dark with headphones on. It was awesome. Silent Hill comes a close second. That was the first game I bought on the Xbox 360 and it did scare the shit out of me.
I've been trying to think while you were reading them of a good answer, but mine are really boring, like Five Nights at Freddy's or Slender Man. Just
okay.
like everyone's done for that jump scare.
Yeah.
I can't think of a darkly atmospheric game I've played that's... Because I don't really do that.
No, you're not really a horror-y fan. Alan Wake was really good as well.
I'm a horror movie fan, but to engross yourself in a world like a video game and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a limited patience, I think, for horror in particular.
Yeah, you're getting there. You're watching more and more. It's all good.
Am I?
Yeah. You brought Evil Dead 2 the other day.
I've always loved Evil Dead, so
I mean,
that's always been the big exception.
Yeah.
I like a lot of horror. I just don't actively like.
Yeah, but
I like a lot of horror films. I don't actively like the genre. Oh,
they're singing "Let It Go." They know it's been.
They know.
We've not mentioned Frozen in ages, and they're going, "Hey, those guys are recording."
Do we have a 2015 equivalent that we keep going on about? Is it Man of Steel?
I think it must be. I think Man of Steel's overtaken. I don't think it's overtaken Frozen.
It's getting there, isn't it?
Yeah. Superfan Robbie Polanco at Robbie_Polanco said, Team Man of Steel.
Timed.
I'm with Andrew in liking the film. Evil Dead 2 was also good. I've never watched Passion of the Christ, but I have watched Good Burger.
See? I want to know, what have you not watched while you were watching Good Burger?
Yeah.
This has to become an
Yeah,
internet
this is
trend.
the thing, but it's still #Save Scott.
What have you not watched?
I'm sorry.
Have you ever watched George Méliès's Journey to the Moon? No, you probably haven't, have you? Because you're watching Good Burger.
Have you ever watched the original Nosferatu? No, probably not.
No.
You ever watched
No.
Hitchcock's Rope? No, probably not.
No, you haven't.
No, you've watched Good Burger.
You didn't
haven't
watch
you?
the old Korean Old Boy, did you?
No.
No, because you were watching Good Burger.
And then you watched the remake. Oh,
yeah,
that's how
'cause
bad you are.
That's who you are.
God, who are you?
Not you, Robbie. Just
No,
you.
just you.
The whoever's
The
listening.
listener.
You.
Yeah,
I'm
you know
pointing
who
at
you are.
you. You close your eyes. I'm pointing at
Yeah.
you now.
Your palms are sweating slightly. You know exactly who you are.
You know who you are. Because
Yeah.
I'm one of you. I am one of you. I'm going to watch Good Burger again. I know it. I don't know when.
You're not. #Save Scott. Join the campaign. Thanks to Artie Fufkin for the picture last week and for being the co-host. That was great. And Rex Everything at Rex Everything 3 said the sequel for Three Men and a Baby looks weird to James's picture.
Another amazing picture. He's too
Mega.
good. I almost don't like complimenting him anymore because it feels too much. Like I bet he does it. I bet he's got that filter up now where he never believes.
Yeah, he's just
Do you know what I mean? Like,
they're praising me again. Yeah,
but he
great.
needs to know how great he is.
He does.
Because like literally, I walk around and I've seen so many artsy projects and DIY indie stuff. James's art would sell here.
Yeah,
I'm convinced of it.
It would completely.
Absolutely convinced of it because he's brilliant.
Yeah. So tweet him. Tell him.
Tell him that you'd buy his stuff. You don't have to.
And you can buy his stuff at jameswormseyillustration.com. But go check
Well,
it
yeah,
out.
do it, please.
Go and have a look.
But I mean, just let him know you would buy it because I think he needs to know.
Yeah, he does.
Well, I think we need to work on
We
it.
do. Tell him. We'll start a campaign. We'll come up with a hashtag. Adam Voice at Fally Baldwin using the day off to catch up. Scott's reaction to Dave actually broke me.
There's a bit when Andrew explains that it's not funny to laugh at a burnt person, and
Yeah.
I just cackle
You
so
do.
much, and it made me feel really bad listening it back. But I think people know what I was really laughing at. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was the idea of an obviously fake Michael Jackson trying to get away with being called Dave.
Exactly. It's just like
with the worst prosthetics. Oh, it tickled me.
I know.
I still laugh about it occasionally on my own.
In
Does
the
something
dark.
ever just pop in your head and
Yeah.
you just giggle again?
You do just laugh. Dave at Wilbro Junior 36 said, couple of suggestions for Amusement Arcade, lads. Arcade, Jetpack and Battletoads. I've been playing them on Rare Replay.
Battletoads is a great one.
What was the one we saw when we walked around?
Which one?
We saw a game and we said, remind you. And
Oh,
we-
Hook.
Hook, that was it. So it's gone on record now. Hook.
I want to play Hook. just to see if Rufio's on the game, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously we've been busy, and I've struggled to even get on the podcast, so we're a bit behind with the games. We still have to play like Rampage and stuff.
Yeah.
We need to replay Simpsons because that failed.
Yeah.
But we will, because me and Dad love playing games, and Battletoads is a great suggestion. But I've never played it, and it's notorious for being hard as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's why he's suggesting it. He wants to see me fail.
Yeah. He's up for that. Thank you for those suggestions, Dave. Event for Freya Gillard at Run Roller Run. When I moved from Oz to the UK, they only screened 3 movies during the 30-hour flight. Good Burger was one of them. I'd never seen Keenan and Kel. I loved it all the same. Hashtag save Good Burger, and I've put no, hashtag save Scott.
Well, why are we saving Good Burger? Because I'm going to watch it again, Freya. What you don't understand, right? That's a pleasant memory for you. You were in a bind. You had 30 hours to kill, and Good Burger helped you waste your life. It keeps wasting my life continually.
Yeah.
How many times now?
I know.
6, 2 hours. That's 12 hours. That's half a day. Do you know what you can do in half a day? You could conceive a child.
You could.
You could conceive another idea that could change the world.
Yeah.
A lot of conceiving. I don't know why I'm going down this level of things. 12 hours. You could bake a souffle.
Yeah, you could.
You could bake a souffle. That's like a very big hour of work.
Yeah. You could cook a Heston Blumenthal recipe. They take hours.
You could have
well worth it.
two meals, if not 3 meals.
Yeah.
I could have had 3 Good Burgers happily in the time I've watched Good Burger collectively in my life.
God damn it.
And you want to save it why? So you can have that memory. You're selfish.
Just wrong. We got the Deadpool trailer, which we'll talk about hopefully next week. But the Fifth Wall podcast at Fifth Wall Pod said, looks amazing. Love that he takes a shot at his own movie. Don't make the suit green or animated. Lol. And you can check out the latest episode actually. They watch the Harrison Ford role as Richard Kimball. They watch The Fugitive. Sorry, my bad.
You just gave yourself a little quiz, didn't you?
I did.
He's written on his notes Harrison Ford movie and his role as Richard Kimball, and not what the movie is. And I could see that moment.
And as
of
I
you
started reading it, I remembered they tweeted me that's not the latest one because iTunes updated after I wrote it. And I was trying to rack my brain.
But I like the fact you couldn't just write The Fugitive. You had to give yourself this little "will you remember on the day" moment. Interesting.
And they were saying it retcons Days of Future Past, which I'm fine with, Andrew. At Stuntman Psych, the timey-wimey events of Days of Future Past, everything after X2 never happened, so it's fair game. At Fifth Wall Pod, well played. In the Doctor Who reference, I started the Eccleston season while binging on X-Files.
Well, you know, the Fox continuity is a mess. It's not worth even trying to decipher it, really. I liked X-Men Days of Future Past because it was fun, it was ambitious, and it did more good than harm, and that's the first time I was able to say that about an X-Men film.
Yeah.
And what I like about Deadpool is I don't think he gives a fuck about any of that. If anything, it'll just make a few wink jokes about it.
Yeah.
And it looks tonally spot on, funny,
yeah.
And he's going to be like, you know, we've got Batman vs Suits, we've got Suicide Squad, we've got Civil War.
Yeah.
They're your event movies, everyone's going to go cuckoo. This is I don't even call it a dark horse, but I'm really pumped for Deadpool. I think it's going to be the dark horse winner of next year. But then again, I start thinking like this because the trailer's spot on and it's made with the right spirit and it's totally right, it's the right cast. But it's still made by Fox. So we have to assume it's terrible and not put too much expectation.
This is definitely true.
Because we'll only ruin it by hoping.
Definitely. The amazing silky tones of Adam at AttaboyC. You can check out his latest episode, number 38. Good Lord. Looks at the 50s films Quicksand, De Lord, and Bogart's Enforcer movie and more. I'm halfway through that today and it's fantastic. Check it out.
So good,
he's brilliant. But yeah, he's been nominated for an award. His Attaboy Clarence podcast of the year on New Media Europe. If you go to his website, www.attaboyclarence.com, you can find out more information on there and click to vote for him in the awards.
I will be doing that immediately.
Yeah.
Vote for him.
He's
so good. He makes me slightly ashamed that we're technically the same category of media because we're not on his level.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's also an inspiration.
Definitely.
You shouldn't let that get you down.
No.
We won't be as good as him. But we vaguely know him, and that's inspiring.
Exactly. And we can strive. We know where we want to be.
Maybe one day, with enough practice, and if I keep soaking my throat in caramel, at night. Just have like
Just
caramel squigs of caramel at night.
little bits
warmed
of it.
caramel. Maybe my voice will be as good as Adam's.
Oh, one day.
One day.
We can dream. Technically Ron, at Technically Ron. You guys are lovely, I say. We promoted his book and we had James on talking about the artwork. You can go to Amazon now and pre-order The Life-a-Bet, an A to Z of modern existence by Technically Ron, at Technically Ron, Aaron Gillies, and artwork by at Artie Fufkin James, who's our resident artist who was on the podcast last week, if you didn't hear it. Incredible and amazing work, Aaron. I'm looking forward to reading it.
I mean, I know you and James are friends with me. I've only met him once, but I follow him on Twitter, and even if you don't know him, follow him, because he's so funny.
Yeah.
It's almost annoying.
Yeah.
I don't like when someone's that funny. Do you know what I mean? I want to be the funny one.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know when someone's funnier than you? It's really irritating. I don't deal with it well.
I can't cope with it.
But that's how much I'm recommending him.
He's rocking back and forth, Aaron.
He's fucking hilarious. Though.
He's brilliant.
I had to swear for effect.
Yeah, it's all good. The small children have gone.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this book.
Yeah, definitely. I've pre-ordered it. It'd be great.
And I mean, even if you have no knowledge,
they love it. They're getting the book. Well, they loved that. They loved it.
Even if you don't know Technically Ron or fancy following him, you've seen James's artwork. It's probably worth it for that alone.
Definitely. So get on that. Pays at Paisy Bones.
Peasy, Poosy. I'm sorry, Andrew knows.
We can't
Although
do it.
I'm pretty sure he changes every time.
I don't know.
I'm gonna do a comparison
We need
clip.
to. Yeah, we need
to see if Andrew changes it.
Although when you were doing the one at the Comicon when you guys went with Dan,
yeah,
you said it twice and didn't do it, and it made me sad. Made me sad.
Andrew, you're better than that.
Come on, Andrew.
Raise your game, Andrew.
Get with it. And he's asked, is Dennis the Menace Marvel or Detective Comic?
I sent him a picture going with J. Jonah Jameson saying, "It's a menace."
Nice.
He's neither.
Okay.
Neither.
You say neither, I say neither.
He's from the Beano. No, he's not.
What would he be?
Which I researched this after I watched the Dennis the Menace film, but there's the American Dennis the Menace and the English Dennis the Menace.
It's Dennis, isn't it?
And our Dennis the Menace is black haired with a red and black jumper.
Yeah.
And their Dennis the Menace, well, they'll know, won't they?
Yeah.
I always wondered who came first, and I think theirs came first.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it did.
And is it you who were telling me that today's Dennis the Menace is the old Dennis the Menace's son?
Oh no, I didn't know that. No.
So there's a theory.
Okay.
I don't know where I've got this from.
Is it a fan
there's a theory that the
not?
current Dennis the Menace is the son of the original Dennis the Menace that when it was popular.
Okay, whoa.
Because his dad looks vaguely like Dennis the Menace now.
Right.
So he's a new generation.
I kind of like that. I like that. Keep it in the family.
I don't know where I got that from, but it's quite recent, and
fact.
I'm pretty sure I was talking to someone about it. I naturally assume that happens on this podcast.
Yeah.
I just assume all my conversations.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. And lastly, Optimus Tanline, which is a brilliant name.
Sparky Rides.
And I think, at Sparky Rides. I also think, Sparky tweet in, but I also think I saw somebody, a brewery, say they were going to name their latest ale after your Optimus Tanline name.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know whether I imagined that, so tweet in, because I don't think I did. I think somebody liked your name and they were going to use it for a beer.
One day, I'm going to write a script.
It's a great name.
And when I get to that bit of the script, when you're not pleased with your names because you've kind of just chucked some football players' names together, because no one likes making up names. I'm just going to ask Sparky, right?
Yeah, he's on it. He's the man for names.
He's just the man with the names.
And we just wanted to say thank you for yours.
All names.
Man with all the names. The man of many names. I forgot to say. They love it. They love it. Man of many names.
Yeah, that's for you, Sparks.
For you, Sparky. Putting the Sparky back in the sparkle. Sparkly.
I don't even know what's happening.
Bringing the sparkle. No, I'm not sure. Sparky brings the sparkle. That's the one. I remembered it. I just thank you for your selfie. You were wearing the Weekly Geek Speak t-shirt in Lanzarote, a black t-shirt in a really hot country whilst on holiday. Dude, thank you kindly.
I mean, it means a lot to us.
It does. It's awesome.
It's just like we do this for free off our own backs and go out our way, and we just do it mainly because it's fun, but also because we like. It's a good way to communicate with people and meet cool new people.
Yeah, definitely.
And get yourself out there. And every so often, just a really small, nothing thing just means the world and makes it worth it.
Yeah.
And just little things like you wearing that t-shirt on holiday don't know, just weirdly
It's
makes
incredible.
your day.
Yeah.
Or a nice review on iTunes, or like that just like complimentary to it.
Definitely.
I don't know, it's just those little
it's
moments.
amazing. It's just
Like I don't want to turn it to a weird moment,
No.
but like I don't know, you never underestimate how much that means,
Yeah.
even though it's nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, because that's what we do it for.
Yeah,
Those
it's
little
amazing.
moments, or just when someone new tweets,
Yeah.
does we a 3-word review, or someone vaguely like recognises your
Yeah.
voice, or I don't know.
No, it's
like,
cool.
It's just those little moments,
It's great.
like all those interactions, and we get that every week.
Yeah.
and You guys are
Pages.
lovely.
You guys are awesome.
Oh, sorry, we're having a bit of a love in now.
Keep them coming in, because we do
I
it.
don't usually do that. Is it because when
No.
Andrew's around, I go all nasty?
Oh, I don't know. The dynamics changed.
Maybe when Andrew's not here, I'm actually a lovely, sweet
This has
person, and I'm
changed.
like, oh, let me embrace my loveliest.
Changed the dynamics. Scott.
And
What's
then when
happening?
Andrew's here, I'm like, oh, what? They're talking again.
What's happening? I don't understand.
I've become the sweet one.
And this is the first time where we've actually recorded anything, just me and you.
Yeah?
We've spent the whole day together. We've recorded.
What's it like? What's it like
been
hanging
good.
out with me?
It's been good.
Do you sometimes pause for Andrew to speak?
Yeah.
And then he's just not there?
Well, there's certain things we do, and it was like yesterday. You weren't here. We did certain things, and it was like Scott would have said that or chipped in there, and it's like, oh, we've built up this amazing dynamic, and it's kind of you take one away, and it's.
But if we're really good, it almost becomes like a karaoke podcast. So people at home can just infer what I would have said.
Yeah.
So you could just keep those poses.
Yeah.
And then those people at home can
Yeah.
just imagine what I said. And now
Like the
people are
episode where
imagining.
Yeah.
Pause. What did Andrew say then?
Yeah.
We all know what he said.
We all know what he said.
You all imagine what
He
he
was
said
there.
right now, because we know what he said.
We know exactly what he
He-
said. Oh, Andrew.
What he would have done, he'd have done is, right, stop talking, that's the end of the show. Please stop
Please shut
interrupting
up.
me
Yeah.
as I tell you to subscribe on Stitcher, iTunes, Speaker and Podcast Land.
Whilst
also
I just
ma-
go, and laugh in the
and then
background.
I consider like stopping him, and he carries on. Like, we're also available on YouTube. Watch Scott and Dan on
Mhm.
Amusement Arcade
Uh-huh.
on that channel,
Yep.
and we put a podcast
Mhm.
up there also.
Yep.
Please review viewers, get in touch on Twitter and Facebook, or we can
Yep.
Geek Speak.
We are,
We're also on
Yep.
Instagram,
Yep, we totally are,
and Reddit, and
Mhm.
all sorts of places.
Uh-huh.
You mean the world to us, and
Yep.
thank you for listening.
Mhm. Yep.
And we'll be back next week, where we might actually be in a home,
Yep.
all three of us together.
God, back in the
And then-
cinematic.
And then I'd be like, oh, should I say something? I want to sign off with something really funny and clever. And then
Go on then.
and then he does a
Do
long.
it.
But by the time Andrew's finished, I'm like, I don't know, boobs. And then I run off and have a smoke.
Willies.
Yeah. And then the music goes.
It's like,
Yeah. And now he's not here. We're just gonna meander.
I know, we're
There's
just going
no-
to keep talking.
The,
and poor
the,
Andrew's
the
got
logical
to edit this.
endpoint went. The
I know,
logical
it's
endpoint
gone.
went.
It's gone.
And now he's letting us
He
hang
is.
ourselves up to. Andrew's
And-
gave us enough rope to
Tell you
hang
what.
ourselves.
Let's just chuck in. Thanks to @Showmasters for sorting out the press passes for
Yeah.
Film and Comicon Sheffield.
I have enjoyed the Sheffield Film and Comic-Con.
It's been
Is that
incredible.
how you say it, Steve?
That's right. Yeah, that's
Is it Sheffield
that's
Film
correct.
and Comic-Con?
That's correct.
Hashtag.
Hashtag.
Sorry,
But yeah, no.
That's an inside joke, because on their press releases they're quite insistent on what we call it.
Yeah.
But I call it something else. So I'm being a naughty squirty.
He's being a naughty
I mean,
squirty.
a naughty
So you
little
may never
squirt.
hear this, but yeah, thanks to Showmasters, and it's just been a thoroughly amazing day. Thanks to everyone who's spoken to us. Thanks for the interviews, and just
It was
thanks for
great
being
last year,
awesome people.
Great this year. It'll be great next
It
year.
will.
And thank you very much for letting us come and report
And
it
it's
and
a-
enjoy it.
It's a great thing to have on our home turf.
And now we've wasted your time
Yeah.
enough, so let's go and waste other people's time,
Way,
Steve.
cheers.
Bye.